Hello, and it's coffee time again. Not anyone's watching. It's good. I go to the Daily Mail website, so you don't have to. We look at the news. Top story today is the hidden danger of gel nails. Yeah, apparently methacrylate, which is used in gel nail polishes. Not that I ever need them. Look at that. Look at my nails. Look. Must have to start painting them, wouldn't I? Get everyone talking. The methacrylate that's in gel nail polishes apparently can trigger allergic reactions if they leak into the skin, which can see your nails loosen and the skin develops severe itchy rashes. And they've got that's not good, is it? That's not a good look. And it can also prevent people having cataract removal treatment, joint replacement, or dental work. Yeah, these allergies to oh god, that's horrible. Okay, have we got any more of these? Flaky fingers. So yeah, don't get gel nail polishing done. Oh god, these ones are swollen. Oh Jesus. Ay. There you go. So that's the top story there on the Daily Mail website. We have some cult news. This is the story of Sean Mellin. The 40-year-old weighs 25 stone. Right, and he's been jailed for 3 years because, well, he crushed his 5-foot girlfriend under his huge belly. Yeah, he attacked her at a travel lodge. It was a drink and drug fueled rampage, where the former courier, basically was physically nasty to his girlfriend. And assaulted her. Yeah, he admitted assault occasioning actual bodily harm and strangulation at Minchell Street Crown Court. Let's have a look at this fella. Yeah. So yeah, but she said he used his weight to hold her down, and she said him strangling me was awful. He squeezed and pushed his fingers into my nose. I mean, I couldn't breathe. Yeah, and he said I couldn't breathe when he was on top of me. God, blimey, yeah. But so, yeah, he's been jailed for 3 years, but he does seem to be hit with the ladies. There you go. So, I've never heard anyone being accused of using their stomach to assault a woman. So that's the first. So that's cult news today. What else have we got here? We have this is Sam Smith. He's been doing his Gloria tour, and let's see. We got some. I think he's body positivity there. Do you remember when rock stars used to, take care of themselves and look good on stage? Now you can just turn up like a bucket of guts, and everyone will go, yeah, body positivity. And that's why we don't see any morbidly obese old people. Isn't that right? So, but there you go. But yeah, good on him. This is we've got an animal story early in the thing, but I'm going to save that. I'm going to save it for later, maybe. I don't know. Have you heard about the heat pumps? I was listening to this on the radio this morning. They want us to upgrade our boilers to these heat pumps, but again, there's been a lot of talk whether or not they actually work. Well, there's a £150 million boiler upgrades scheme that's that's going on. It's the government, wanting us all to have heat pumps instead of gas-fired central heating because of global warming. I don't know. If the Earth gets warmer, then we won't need central heating. That's my understanding of it. Doesn't work like that, Darren. Doesn't work like that. But yeah, apparently only fewer than 10,000 pumps have been installed in England and Wales during the first year of programming, leaving it's got an official target of 30,000 annual installations. So they're well under the target. And households have been given a £5,000 voucher to help cover costs. Now, again, the costs of these are something like £15,000 to have these boilers installed. Is a stock image of someone installing these. And again, if you live in a flat or somewhere where you don't have the external room to install one of these things, you can't have them. So it's going to be interesting. But it's been branded the scheme has been branded a flop. It's a flop. And yes, ground source heat pump circulate a mixture of water and antifreeze around a ground loop pipe, and is absorbed into the fluid, and then via heat exchange is pumped into the home. It works something like that. I don't know. Sounds like a good idea on paper, but again, it all depends, where you are, if these things work or not. I've heard some people say they don't even work. They end up, being totally inefficient. So there you go. Meanwhile, we have a new fraud. There's a new fraud going on. I call it casual fraud, and they say it's a rising tide of it because customers are abusing returns basically. Right, this is fraud prevention firm Ravelin have done a report, and they say 1 in 3 online businesses say criminal customers are their number one risk factor because they report that items haven't turned up. But this is mail order. Some there's this thing called free renting where you buy some clothes, you wear them, and then you return them. Long time ago, many years ago, we had neighbours that used to do that. They used to buy items of clothing, underwear too, and then when they got a bit worn, they'd take them back to the shop and get them returned. This was in the 1970s, I might add. So there you go. Then there are fake returns and refund or promotion abuse. The extent of the abuse has led Ravelin to state that online merchants' own customers are almost likely to commit fraud against them as organised criminals. And they said that a third of finance leaders describe first-party frauds, including friendly fraud, returns and promotion abuse, as the biggest risk factor to their business. My goodness. And they've got a little thing here. You've got what's known as a DNA, a fraud, which did not arrive. You've got wardrobing or free renting, where you wear clothes and return them. Fake returns. This is what happens when a company returns an inferior item to one that's purchased. And a refund promo abuse crossover. So there you go. Again, Amazon can actually ban you if you abuse their return policy too much. So it's not a good idea. Not a good idea to do that. Again, more court news. I read this one yesterday to the missus. This is an appalling story coming out of Portsmouth Crown Court. This is the story of Sarah Somerset Howe and George Webb. She's married to Tom Somerset Howe. Now, Tom Somerset Howe is 40 years old, and he's got cerebral palsy, and he's nearly blind. Right, he's got very bad, and he has to have permanent care. And the story is that his wife ended up having an affair with his carer, and for a decade used him as a cash cow, and spent his inheritance, £12,000 of his inheritance, and basically treated him appallingly. And it was only when he told a friend about it that they got in touch with his parents and they staged an intervention. Now, this court case is ongoing at the moment. Again, they're accused of these crimes. That's Sarah Somerset Howe. That's the wife. And this is the carer who's been accused of being, well, again, in on the scam. and yeah, this case is currently ongoing. Yeah, and the latest report is he described how he was enslaved by his wife and carer, and he confronted them when he heard sounds at night and suspected that they were having sex. That was heard in court today, and this is Tom Somerset Howe, the disabled man in question. Again, the disabled are the most vulnerable of our society, and they're open to abuses like this. And yeah, it's a very, very serious case. He's lucky that he's got a friend who actually, helped him out. Yeah. So anyway, the couple at the moment, they deny all the charges, and the trial, which is scheduled to last 4 weeks, is continuing. So I have to keep an eye on that, see if they're found guilty or not. But like I said, this is an ongoing live trial. So yes. What else have we got? A lot about King Charlie and his coronation, and Meghan's not going to turn up. Well, she's not going. Of course, she's not. She's got kids to look after, isn't she? Right, here we go. This is some trainers. This is Balenciaga. You like them? They're fancy trainers. They've got some new trainers for you. These are the men's 3XL trainers. And when I tell you what they're called, you're gonna envision them without me showing you the picture. They're called worn out in dark grey, and yeah, they actually look worn out, right? Yeah. So you've seen ripped jeans before. Now they're releasing scummy trainers. Even the soles look like they've been out for a tramp in the woods. The tramp didn't mind, by the way. He was all right. He was up for it. Yeah, and this is the people that, remember, they bought us the BDSM bear. Do you remember that earlier? That was last year, wasn't it? They did that. Yeah, so do you fancy a pair of those? Well, it's going to set you back. It's going to set you back a cool £875. Really is a case of I saw you coming, isn't it? Jesus Christ. Oh boy. Oh boy. We've got the Grand National on at the weekend. Weren't the animal rights people supposed to be stopping it? I'm kind of in favour of that, because too many horses get destroyed. You can have a steeplechase. There's nothing wrong with horse racing. There's nothing wrong with steeplechasing, but the size of the jumps on the Grand National are just wrong, and they've been wrong for many years. Yeah, last night, I don't know if you saw it, but they started the final series of Paul O'Grady's For the Love of Dogs. Did you watch it? We did, because there's dogs in it. Not that I support Battersea anymore, but it was good to watch. And yeah, even had a little tribute at the end of the show for him. Here he is, with a dog who had to have some surgery. Big old girl she was, and yeah, it was very, very emotional to watch. But he's still alive. He still lives on, which is cool. But yeah, at the end they put up a little memorial, which was nice. But yeah, we've got this series to go, and I think he's done another animal special that's in the can. So you're going to see more of Paul O'Grady still. He still lives on. Meanwhile, if you go to Aldi in Newport, in the Isle of Wight, right, you might have a bit of trouble understanding some of the signs, because the German owners mistook Newport in the Isle of Wight for Newport, in that they're Welsh Wales, and they've put up some of the signs in Welsh. Yeah, they've made a mistake. And yeah, this is the one that's in in the Isle of Wight, not in the one that's in the Welsh Wales. So they're having to fix that. Bit of a boo-boo on the sign front there. Meanwhile, this is an interesting story. Again, this is about a trampoline park, right? The Super Jump park in Trident Trade Park in Cardiff. Is there a picture? Here it is. Super Jump. That's super with an A, not super with an ER. It must be good. And it's an American themed attraction where basically you trampoline everywhere. I've seen these places, and I remember wasn't there a kid's birthday party that was going to be held at one of these, and I said not a good idea. Well, it isn't because apparently some of the patrons injured themselves. Yeah, 2 3-year-olds and girls aged 9 and 11 broke their legs. And Philip Booth, here he is, who looks like he should be, I don't know, singing on a cruise ship. I haven't got the let's get the chain there. You get the chain there. He looks like he should be crooning to old age pensioners on cruises, but he is facing jail because he failed to report the accidents. Yeah. The offences are so serious that he's going to be referred to Crown Court for sentencing for the incidents that happened between April 2018 and August 2019. Yeah, apparently a district judge said he'd shown blatant disregard for the law after a boy and a girl, both 3, and 2 more girls aged 9 and 11 were hurt while jumping on trampolines into foam pits. And he found, he pled guilty to 4 counts of failing to report an accident which saw a person taken to hospital, and 2 counts of failing to ensure people were not exposed to health and safety risks from using play equipment. Cardiff Magistrates Court on Thursday, District Judge Steve Harms said, Harms, got harmed. I've assessed the case at the very high culpability carried to harm because the injuries as this are serious and could even be more serious. There you go. And he's going to be sentenced at Cardiff Crown Court on April the 27th. So it could be going to clink, but you never know. He might bounce back, or maybe he's for the high jump. I don't know if that one landed properly. I can't stop. I just can't stop. Somebody stop me. Anyway, so we've done Super Jump. I'm just scrolling down, scrolling. Are you feeling a little bit blur? I know I am, all the time. And this is a report. This is in the. Oops. Just waiting for everything to load. This is part of the female magazine part of Daily Mail. That's female, not female. Female, as in Daily Mail. It's talking about a condition called. I've got to get my mouth around this. Anhedonia. Yeah. It's about feeling a little bit disengaged, that grey area in between, that little bit. You're not quite depressed, but you're not jumping for joy either. Yeah, author Tanith Carey has got a book out called "Feeling Blur: Why Anhedonia Has Left You Joyless and How to Recapture Life's Highs." About life without pleasure. I thought it's just living in the UK, isn't it? I thought it's our natural state. And this quote just saying, while it can be a symptom of major depression, it can also be a standalone condition in which you're not happy, not sad, but just stuck in a grey space in between where so many of us now lives our lives. Yeah, that's called living in the UK, isn't it? And there are 5 telltale signs. First sign, your orgasms aren't as strong. That's because of a dopamine disruption, apparently. Okay. You see the world's in shades of grey, like it's all been washed out. You've given up pastimes you've once enjoyed. You stop feeling the chills when you hear your favourite song. I'm getting all of this. Even my t-shirt's grey. And your food tastes bland. Oh my God, it's true. It's all true. It's me. It's me. Here we go. This is an odd one. This is Whitehaven Harbour in Cumbria. We've been to Whitehaven, haven't we, missus? We've been there. The harbour, which dates back to 1634, they've got this mysterious. It's gone orange. Look at that. And nobody knows where this rust-coloured water has come from. It began at the beginning of last year, and it's left the harbour looking, well, distinctly ugh. As a part of efforts to understand why the harbour's turned orange, a hydrological survey will now be carried out on groundwater above a nearby railway tunnel, which they think might be the source. But normally, it looks like that, which is much better. It's like, ugh, it's gone orange. Yeah, the tunnel isn't the source of the polluted water, but it's hoping the knowledge gained during tests could help understand where it could be coming from. So, yeah, what a mystery. Where is the orange water coming from? Have we got any other good ones? Remember, folks, there's always hope for all of us, right? Because Lewis Capaldi, the singer, right? Here he is. He's been talking about his new girlfriend, Ellie McDowell. There you go. Punching above his weight? Oh man, I don't know. I think it's because he's a successful singer. She wouldn't look at him twice if he was, I don't know, working at McDonald's, would she? Meanwhile, they caught him. We was talking about the leak of secrets on a Discord's chat room the other day where they got him. Jack the Dripper, they call him. This is 21-year-old Jack Teixeira, who was arrested yesterday by the National Guard in Massachusetts. He was reading a book before he got pulled in. He's looking at 10 years in prison. The FBI have said, yeah. So yeah. I told you he was in trouble. I did say somebody's in trouble. Good news, everybody. There's a 600-mile long fault line in the Pacific, right, just off the US coast. And experts say they're on red alert for a mega earthquake. Yeah, there's a crack in the Pacific, and they've got pictures of it and everything. Look at that. Well, that don't look good. Could it be that LA and California are finally going to fall into the sea? It's always been threatened because there's that fault line, isn't there, that runs down. And this is an interesting story. This is the actors Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. They appeared in, was it True Detective together a few years back now. And Matthew McConaughey is beginning to think that he actually might be related, that they might actually be half brothers. Because during a conversation with his mother, his mother said, "Oh yeah, I know Woody Harrelson's dad," in a biblical sense. And he did the math, and it could be that they might be brothers, actual half brothers. But he's too scared to get the DNA test because his own father died a long time ago, and he doesn't want to think that it wasn't his real father. So what an interesting story. Yeah? Meanwhile, in Dublin yesterday, Better Call Saul star Bob Odenkirk, who's on a book tour, he's promoting his book, found himself staying in the same hotel as Joe Biden. There you go. Of course he did. He said, "It's Saul Goodman." Biden said, "It's Saul Goodman." Okay, I can't bother. This is rubbish. This is rubbish news. Meanwhile, who wants to see a picture of... Well, this is... come on, Daily Mail website. This is a picture of Kim Jong-un watching the test launch of the Hwasong-18 intercontinental ballistic missile. Looks kind of romantic, doesn't it, really? Doesn't it? No, just me then. He said to his missus, "Do you want to see my new missile?" Meanwhile, punters have been queuing outside Boots around Britain. Are they giving away Viagra? I'd have been there. I'd have been there in a shop. No, it isn't. Let's get a look at some of the pictures. Here they are. Well, it's mainly ladies. It's mainly ladies. So I wonder what it is. What are they queuing for? Oh, there's a big queue here. This is Boots in Bristol. I wonder what are they queuing for? There's queues everywhere. That was in Bluewater in Kent. It's because Number 7 have got a new cream out. Yeah. And apparently, they say it's like Botox in a jar. Makes your face go like that. Yeah, it's called Future Renew and Damage Reversal. Targets now prevent visible signs of skin damage. Ooh! I wonder if it works. Well, those ladies seem to think it does. I reckon more than 94,000 people signed up to a waiting list for the anti-aging range from Number 7. Wow. Demand soared for Number 7's Future Renewal Damage Reversal cream after impressive results of its ability to repair damage caused by the sun were presented last month at a meeting of the British Society for Investigative Dermatology. And the cream has taken 15 years to develop in collaboration with the University of Manchester. And clinical trials says that it was found to reduce fine lines, wrinkles, and improve skin firmness. Well, there you go. I might need some of that. What do you reckon? Might need some of that myself. Meanwhile, I don't know if you followed this story, but Anheuser-Busch, which is the company that owns Bud Light, decided to use cosplay influencer Dylan Mulvaney to promote their beer. That's fine. That's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But you've got to know your audience. You know, you've got to know your audience. And they didn't know their audience because they reckon that the shares in AB InBev, that's Anheuser-Busch, have dropped, and it's wiped $5 billion off their share value. This is where you go and do you research. You know, you do those. You get punters in, and you get them in a room. You do those trials, and they say, "What do you think of this?" And they go, "Don't like it." And then they don't. Whoever was their marketing person really just threw the brand under a bus with that bush, under a bus. Gareth Boyd, a marketing PR expert with Forte Analytica, said they never expected the reaction they got. Right now, if they respond and they don't get it right, they're only going to further hurt themselves. I think they're probably trying to avoid talking about it, open and praying it will go away. And that's probably the worst thing you could possibly do. Because there's been a massive backlash to it. This was, and apparently the social media accounts have fallen silent, and I don't know. It's all gone a bit weird. But yeah, it had Kid Rock. He wasn't happy, so he bought a case of blood and shot it up, which seemed a bit silly because it's a waste of beer, isn't it? Some people, but yeah, obviously when marketing goes wrong, isn't it? When marketing goes wrong, you've got to be very careful. Meanwhile, they've done a report here saying that ASBOs were a waste of time. It's like a where are they now with criminals, and it's the story of Tyler Shaman and Brandon Williams. Because they had ASBOs back in 2003 as kids, but it never did anything. It never stopped them. See, here they are. They got ASBOs when they were 10, and now he got 13 years at Maidstone Crown Court on Tuesday. He described this is Tyler. He describes himself as a full-time scumbag on his Facebook profile, and that's Shaman. He was also got 13 years for offences including affray, assault, and criminal damage, and they are together. You see, so yeah, ASBOs were a waste of time because they grew up to be horrible. Anyway, my goodness, have we done enough damage yet? Have we done enough damage? Have we done enough damage? I feel like we've done enough damage. Okay, so we're going to do this is a story. It's kind of an animal story. Yeah. It's kind of an animal. It's kind of an animal story. It is an animal story, but not a good animal story. This is Dr. Marco Calix. He's a gynecologist in Honduras. Would you trust him with your fanny, ladies? You know he's seen a lot of Lady Garden action. You can tell by the look on his face. But he told a story. Right, a woman come in, see him, and she was complaining of an extremely strange feeling in her area. The patient, who has not been named, this came to the clinic in Honduras. She felt restless and agitated and sweaty, and she'd been unable to sleep and felt like something was going on down there. So they had a look. Right, this was in the country's capital of I can't say it. Tegucigalpa. Honestly, I've just mangled the capital of Honduras. What's that? We've lost all the Honduran viewers. But yeah, Dr. Marco Calix, who I showed you, he was looking after the patient, and when they examined her, they were stunned to find a dead cockroach in her vagina. Yes, there's a stock image of one. Yes, they found a dead insect in her area, and that was what was causing her to feel a little bit off sorts. Well, it would, wouldn't it? Well, it would. Thing is they don't know how it got there. Nobody knows how it got there. He said the woman said she had felt something unusual in her vagina. When I introduced the spectrum, I could see it was an insect. In fact, I had to take out something. It looked like a cockroach, but it was unclear how the cockroach had got into the woman's body and how long it had been there. But he said the woman was from a rural area and it was already dead. So there we go. But Dr. Calix added that with vaginas, insects getting stuck in them could cause abnormal or foul-smelling discharge, bleeding, swelling or a rash. That's not good. That's not a good story, is it? Meanwhile, This is the story of Carmen Canovis Covello, who was diving at Vavu Atoll in the Maldives. And again, it's a video. She's should we get the whole video up, or will it be an advert? No, it's good, there's not an advert. Whoops, here we go. So she's swimming, right? You can see her tattoos at the moment. It's not a very good picture, but yes, she's circled by a shark who suddenly goes boom and takes a bite out of her. Oh, painful. That's not good, is it? That looks sore. Yeah, the 30-year-old who works as a nurse found a set of shark teeth lodged in her side with a gruesome bite mark. Here's a close-up of it, if you didn't see it. Oh, nasty. Nasty. But don't worry, we do have a picture for the dads. There we go. Here she is, when she's not had a shark chomp on her. That's not good. Oh. Yeah, they jumped out of the water and they cleaned the wound. But yeah, she's all right. She's healing. But yeah, not a good animal story. But we're going to end with a funny. We're going to end with a funny animal story. This is Breeze Hartley from Canada. She took to TikTok. She couldn't figure out why her son's hair, Lander, that's his name, she couldn't understand why his hair was getting shorter and shorter. And you know, he wasn't cutting it. He couldn't understand what was going on. And here he is. See, he's looking a bit. The clues in the background of what's been going on. What had been happening? Right, the pet guinea pig had been eating his hair and giving him an impromptu haircut. So there you go. Don't let your kids get too close to the guinea pigs. Otherwise, well, you could save money on haircuts, couldn't you? There is an upside. There's always a silver lining. Shall we see if there's anyone in the chat? Probably not. Nobody's in there. 9 people in. Blimey. Convinced is in. This is Alan. Harry's in. So just me in. Yeah, Rip Paul, exactly. It just says psychologists call it feeling flat. It's a bit between manic and low phase and bipolar. Obviously more heavy with that, but well, again, we all have moods, don't we? Convinced says, crikey, your common garden neighbour with the sticking out tongue. I said, type of faces out of town. Asbo's indeed. Asbo's everywhere. Says, forget animal stories. Says, convinced there's always strangeity in someone's privacy, indeed. And Jez wants to know, was that a 48 or 128k spectrum? I don't know. I had both. I had 16. Then Mum got me a 48, and then I got 128k. Back in the day. Those were the days. Anyway, that was the news. Killing the channel, one video at a time. That was it. You know you've got to drink it up.